Assalamu alaikum. Buen dia. Saludos. Happy Friday. My name is Malik Alim, and I am the chairman of the Noble Young's Party. And as you know, we stand in solidarity with the Communist Party of USA. We stand in solidarity with the Communist Party of Puerto Rico. We also stand in solidarity with the Revolutionary Intercommunal Black Panther Party. We also stand in solidarity with the Brown Berets. And we also stand in solidarity with the United Front for Peace in Prisons. And we also stand in solidarity with the United Struggle Within, which is a campaign inside a penitentiary, where it's about making peace treaties and revolutionizing the minds of the incarcerated, of those who are part of the lumping organizations, street organizations, also known as gangs, and to get together united as one front against the imperialists, which is the prison administration. And as we know, United States is a capitalist country, and its money comes from the military-industrial complex. Its money comes from the prison-industrial complex as well. The prison-industrial complex is where they get, where they make millions of dollars, annually off of cheap labor, prison labor, that is, due to the fact that here in the United States, once slavery was abolished, it was abolished except for those that have been duly convicted of a crime. All right. So, this right here says the political program of the Communist Party of Puerto Rico. All right, the Communist Party of Puerto Rico, right? The expositions and motives for the political program: the development of capitalism during more than a century of direct imperialist domination over Puerto Rico has invariably resulted in a majority of persons that, in order to survive, are only left with their labor power, the working class, and the perpetual struggle they raise to correct the maladies engendered by capitalist property relations and productions for profit. The fundamental task of the Communist Party of Puerto Rico is to lend organizational and theoretical leadership to the class struggle carried out by the working class in Puerto Rico. The peculiar combination of a clearly defined and highly developed working class and an antiquated regime of colonial oppression in Puerto Rico define the immediate objectives of this struggle: the eradication of colonialism and the taking of political power by the working class to put under its control the primary means of production and banking institutions, and the crushing of the resistance of the capitalist class and its allies. The opposition of classes with interests that are irreconcilably antagonistic to those of the working masses, as well as the fragmented and dependent character of economic development in Puerto Rico, require that our struggle be carried out in close collaboration with the international working class, such as the diaspora, such as the Migrants International Movement, the Migrants International Ministry of Prisons, such as the Noble Young's Party of the Latino nations of North America. We support the independence of Puerto Rico. All right, considering the particular combination of conditions that characterize the struggle of the working class in Puerto Rican society, the Communist Party of Puerto Rico works to achieve the following demands. Political demands. These are the political demands: the immediate political independence of Puerto Rico through the formation of a workers' republic governed by a national assembly to be composed of representatives selected by the working class with a compensation equal to that of an average worker. Now, political and administrative reorganization in the form of workers and neighborhood councils, organisms from which delegates to the National Assembly will be selected. 3. Election of all delegates and public functionaries to leadership posts based on universal suffrage and secret ballot of members of the corresponding local councils. The revocability of all public functionaries by electors. The substitution of the current police force and National Guard by workers' militias charged with common defense. The immediate withdrawal of foreign military forces. Approval of all national laws via popular referendum. Equality before the law and protections against discriminations motivated by any social category that can divide the working class guaranteed to all persons. The establishment of a foreign relations of solidarity based on the proletarian internationalism with all sectors of the international working class in struggle. Economic demands. Nationalization without compensations of all business identified by the National Assembly as essential to the needs of society and their reorganization under the administration of the corresponding workers according to a national economic plan. 2. Guarantee employment to all based on a rational adjustment of the working day and a national plan for sustainable development. 3. The yearly setting of salaries for each category of work according to the cost of basic necessities, including cultural and leisure activities, by a statistical commission assigned by the National Assembly. 4. Scientific and practical education at all levels paid by the state. 5. A state system of a universal Medicare and guaranteed retirement benefits. 6. The responsibility and authority to take measures to guarantee the food security of the nation to be rested within the National Assembly. 7. The creation of a public authority under the supervision of the National Assembly with the responsibility to plan and coordinate the rational distribution of goods. 8. The annulment of all contracts that have privatized natural resources and public enterprises. 9. The expropriation of all banking entities and their reorganizations as branches of a national bank under the control of the National Assembly. 10. The annulment of all current public debt. 11. Abolition of all consumption taxes and the establishment of a regime based on taxing capitalist profits. All right. That is also printed in the Abayar de Rojo. In the Abayar de Rojo, that is the Boricua newspaper for the Communist Party of Puerto Rico. All right. Now, hold up. Now right here, let me see. Now, as far as the Communist Party for USA, it basically says the road to socialism in USA is the program of the Communist Party USA, adopted in 2005 and updated by the 100th anniversary convention in 2019 in Chicago. It offers our view of the path from the struggles of the present all the way to socialism, a strategy of struggle, unity, reform, and revolution. All of humanity is faced with multiple interlocking crises in the economy, in our shared environment, in extreme weather disasters, and the growing danger of pandemics. These crises expose the rampant income inequality, the disparate impacts of these crises on those facing exploitation and oppression, and in the United States, especially the inhumane lack of health care for all. There are crises of capitalism and inhumane, exploitative, oppressive economic system of greed. In the present, we struggle to improve the lives of workers and poor people in our country and around the globe. Ultimately, to solve the challenges facing humanity, we need to replace capitalism with socialism, a system of cooperation, true democracy and equality, and dealing with democratic centralism. The world is changing around us. As we adopted this program, the COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic exploded around us. This pandemic has laid bare the economic weakness of capitalism. The system is unable to adequately compensate workers for lost income, unable to deal with the economic devastation for both small business that crashed with only a few weeks of being shut down and the workers who are laid off as a result. Unable to take the necessary concerted collective action when saddled with a financial system geared only to endless profit taking instead of prioritizing the health of the entire population. An economic system that demands debt for seniors in order to restart the economy is a system that is morally and economically bankrupt. The immediate crisis of healthcare and the economy are intertwined with the long-range crisis of climate change and the need for fundamental transformation. Capitalism is the cause of much of the problems we face, and is also the main obstacle to finding real and lasting solutions. We need a system that prioritizes the needs of the people before the greed of the few, the 1%. The ultimate results of the pandemic and lives lost, the economic devastation for billions of workers, the massive political repercussions for the ineptitude and criminality of the Trump administration response will not be understood for some time. We don't yet know enough to adequately address the crisis and ill effects in this program. We will amend the program to account for those changes as both the total impact of the problems and the struggles to address and solve them become clear. We stand with the workers of our country and the working class of the whole world for health care for all, for the end to income inequality, against racism, sexism, and all injustice. Join with us. All right? Peace. Assalamu alaikum. One Lord, one people. Stay noble. All right? It's all about nobility. It's about changing the mentality from a criminal gangster to a revolutionary gangster. All right? This is the movement. United Struggle Within, United Front for Peace in Prisons, Noble Yonlos Party, New Black Panther Party, the New African Black Panther Party, Revolutionary Intercommunal Black Panther Party, Brown Berets, International Brown Berets, all the vanguard parties that's fighting for the people, for the oppressed people, that's fighting for the poor, the working poor, that's fighting for the prisoners, the incarcerated, the formerly incarcerated. All right, we push for freedom, justice, and equality, restorative justice. All right, self-determination, liberation, democratic centralism, dealing with historic materialism, dialectical materialism, and freedom of speech. And we uphold the Constitution as well. But abolish the 13th Amendment, or repeal it altogether, and push for restorative justice. Peace. My name is Malik Alim, the chairman of the Noble Yolons Party. Pa'lante, siempre pa'lante. Power to all oppressed people. Black power, brown power, Boricua power, brown pride, black pride, Muslim pride. Power to all oppressed people. Pa'lante, siempre pa'lante.